Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we explore fascinating histories, big ideas, and profound wisdom, breaking them down into insights you can actually use.
That's right.
Today, we're tackling a question that's, well, it's as old as time, really. What if the secrets to wealth, to financial security, maybe even a better life, what if they weren't hidden in complex modern finance, but in stories from almost 100 years ago?
It's a fundamental human drive, isn't it? Wanting prosperity, stability, a better future for ourselves and our families.
That really is.
And what's amazing is how some core truths about money they don't really change, even when everything else seems to be moving at light speed.
Exactly. So get ready for a deep dive into a true classic, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. This book, first published way back in 1926, has guided millions. And, we found it's now in the public domain, part of the Diamond's Mine Library.
Yeah, which makes this timeless wisdom incredibly accessible.
And the book's approach is just brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It takes these sometimes dry financial principles and wraps them up in these really vivid stories, these parables set in ancient Babylon.
Rich, opulent Babylon.
Right, but that's the twist we'll get into. The setting makes the lessons stick. It's storytelling as financial education.
And Babylon itself, it's such a paradox. You think of this incredibly wealthy city.
Legendary wealth, yeah.
But it wasn't built on, gold mines or lush forests. It was an arid plain, no natural resources to speak of.
Almost none. Basically mud and water from the river.
Yet it became the wealthiest city of its time. That just completely flips the script on needing natural resources to build wealth, doesn't it?
It's a powerful lesson right there. It shows that wealth isn't just found, it's often created. They built it through sheer ingenuity and, sound financial practices.
So how did they do it? This city on an arid plain, no timber, no mines. How did they engineer such prosperity?
Well, the book highlights their two natural resources.
Yeah.
A fertile soil and water in the river. That's it. But what they did with those resources was extraordinary.
Like the irrigation.
Exactly. They undertook these massive engineering projects, dams, huge canals diverting the Euphrates River. They basically terraformed the valley.
Wow.
They turned arid land into incredibly fertile farmland, producing abundant crops. It's a stunning example of human capability of achieving huge goals with whatever you have available.
So it's about ingenuity, effort.
And vision. They didn't just find wealth, they made it. It completely challenges the idea that you need a lucky break or natural riches. You can create value.
Which is exactly what we want to do today. We're going to unpack the biggest insights from this amazing book. Consider this your guide to the fundamental rules of, getting money, keeping it, and making it grow.
All through these ancient Babylonian stories.
Yeah, and we'll constantly link it back, showing why this nearly century-old wisdom is still so relevant for you and your financial life today.
Okay, so we've got this picture of Babylon creating wealth out of almost nothing. But how did these ancient secrets get packaged into this book by George S. Clason? Who was he? All right, Clason. He's born in Missouri back in 1874. And interestingly, he wasn't initially a finance guy. He was a publisher.
Oh.
Yeah, he founded the Clason Map Company, published the first road atlas of the U.S. and Canada, actually. So he was already in the business of, guiding people.
Making complex things understandable. That makes sense.
It does, doesn't it? So then, in 1926, he started publishing these pamphlets about thrift, financial success, using these Babylonian parables to make the points clear and memorable.
From mapping roads to mapping financial journeys?
Kind of, yeah. And the foreword of the book itself really sets the tone. It says something pretty profound.
What's that?
It says, our prosperity as a nation depends upon the personal financial prosperity of each of us as individuals.
Wow. Okay, so it links personal finance to the bigger picture.
Exactly. It frames financial literacy not just as a personal goal, but as something essential for society as a whole. It gives the book this broader significance.
And the book's stated purpose is pretty direct too, isn't it?
Very direct. It aims to offer those who are ambitious for financial success an insight which will aid them to acquire money, to keep money, and to make their surpluses earn more money.
Acquire, keep, and make it earn more. Simple, but powerful.
It's a clear promise. It's about turning that lean purse into a full one, using principles that have, stood the test of time.
Going back to Babylon, the book paints this picture. Its very name conjures visions of wealth and splendor.
Right, the legend.
But as we said, it wasn't a gift, just fertile soil and water in the river. That's all they started with, naturally speaking.
And the book really emphasizes this. It calls Babylon an outstanding example of man's ability to achieve great objectives using whatever means are at his disposal.
That idea of creating wealth, not just finding it, is central. Can you expand on how their engineering feats demonstrate this?
Well, think about those irrigation canals. That wasn't just digging ditches. It was a massive, coordinated effort requiring planning, labor, resources. They transformed their environment to create agricultural abundance. They weren't passively hoping for rain. They actively engineered a system to guarantee crops. This demonstrates that wealth comes from applying human energy, intellect, and cooperation. It's a manufactured outcome, not a discovered treasure.
So the wealth was a result of their actions, their systems.
Precisely. And that wisdom, how they thought about and managed wealth, didn't just disappear when the city crumbled.
Right, the clay tablets. Tell us about those.
Yeah, these were fascinating. They wrote on wet clay tablets, maybe 6 by 8 inches, an inch thick.
Like little notebooks.
Sort of, yeah. They'd engrave the writing, then bake the clay until it was hard, like tile. Basically ancient hard drives. Indestructible almost.
And what was on them? Just financial records.
Oh, much more. Sure, property titles, promissory notes, but also legends, poetry, history, laws, even personal letters. Archaeologists found hundreds of thousands of them. Entire libraries.
Incredible. A snapshot of their entire civilization.
It really is. And the key point the book draws from this is that the wisdom of Babylon endures, especially the understanding that money is plentiful for those who understand the simple laws which govern its acquisition.
So wealth isn't some mystery. It follows rules.
That's the core message. It suggests these principles are accessible, learnable, not just for kings or the wealthy, but for everyone. And that's what the rest of the book sets out to teach.
Okay, let's get into those principles through the stories. The book starts with two guys, Bansir the chariot builder and Kabi the musician. Their situation just feels so real.
It really does. They're skilled guys, they work hard, they live in the richest city in the world, but they're broke.
Yeah, Bansir is thoroughly discouraged. His wife gives him looks because the meal bag is almost empty. Kabi jokes about Bansir having not one shekel, but it just highlights they're both in the same boat.
It's that feeling of treading water, isn't it?
Wow.
Working constantly but never getting ahead.
Yeah.
So many people feel that today. You provide value, but the purse stays lean.
And Bansir has this dream. He imagines being rich, having a handsome purse, heavy with coins, tossing them to beggars, buying nice things for his wife.
The dream of financial freedom.
But then he wakes up to reality, his empty purse, and feels this rebellion. He says, "We live in the richest city in all the world. About us is much display of wealth, but of it we ourselves have not." That resonates, doesn't it? Seeing wealth all around, but feeling excluded.
Oh, massively. It's that sense of disconnect, maybe even unfairness. Why them and not us? They ask, why cannot we acquire silver and gold more than enough for food and robes?
And they worry about their kids, too, that their sons will just follow in their footsteps, stuck in the same cycle.
That adds another layer, the fear of passing down financial struggle. It's not just about them, it's about the next generation. They see this pattern of hard work, empty purse, repeat, and they want out.
Then comes the key moment. Kabi asks, might we not find out how others acquire gold and do as they do?
The light bulb moment.
Yeah, and Bansir thinks, perhaps there is some secret we might learn if we but thought from those who knew. That simple idea that financial success can be learned seems obvious, but how often do we actually act on it?
That's a great point. People often think wealth is luck or inheritance or some kind of secret handshake. The idea that you can learn the principles, that it's a skill you can acquire, that is often missed.
So they decide to seek out Arkad.
Right, Arkad, claimed to be the richest man in all Babylon. Not just rich, but wise. Even the king asks for his financial advice for the treasury.
And Kabi makes a really sharp observation here. He says, a fat purse quickly empties if there be no golden stream to refill it. Arkad has an income that constantly keeps his purse full no matter how liberally he spends.
Boom, right there. That's the difference between a windfall and sustainable wealth. Arkad doesn't just have money. He has systems that generate money. That concept of passive income, of money working for you, it's crucial.
It's not just about working for money, but having money work for you. So they decide to go ask him. Their reasoning is simple. It costs nothing to ask wise advice from a good friend.
And that itself is a lesson. Seeking counsel from those who've achieved what you aspire to. Instead of just complaining with others in the same situation, humility and the willingness to learn are the first steps.
Absolutely. So think about it as you're listening. Do you ever feel like Bansir and Kobe, working hard, maybe feeling stuck, seeing wealth around you. That desire for something more is exactly where Arkad's wisdom begins. So Bansir, Kobe, and some other old friends approach Arkad, and they're basically asking, how did you do it? We started out the same, but you're the richest man in Babylon. They even suggest it was fickle fate.
Yeah, the luck argument. It's tempting, isn't it? Easier than thinking they did something different.
But Arkad shuts that down pretty quickly.
He does. He says wealth isn't about luck. It's about learning and applying the laws that govern the building of wealth. He actually argues that sudden unearned wealth from fate often leads to ruin because people haven't learned the discipline to manage it. They become wanton spenders or unhappy misers.
Interesting point. So what was Arkad's starting point? He wasn't born rich.
Not at all. And this is crucial. He says he was the son of a humble merchant, one of a large family with no hope of an inheritance, and importantly, not being endowed with superior powers or wisdom.
So average guy, basically.
Right. His success came from time and study, things available to anyone. This makes his story universally applicable. It's not about privilege, it's about principles.
He realized early on, wealth is a power. With wealth, many things are possible. He saw the good things life offered and decided, I would claim my share. He wasn't content just watching.
He had that desire, that ambition. He started as a scribe, working long hours carving clay tablets, but like Bansir and Kobe, he had naught to show for it. All his earnings went to basic living, food, clothes, obligations.
Sounds familiar.
Exactly. Which sets up his encounter with Algamish, the moneylender. This is the pivotal moment.
Tell us about that, the bargain they struck.
Right. Algamish needed a long log, carp, like super fast 2 days. He offered Arkad 2 coppers. But Arkad, seeing his chance, makes a counteroffer. He says, essentially, teach me how to get rich, and I'll work all night and finish this impossible job by sunrise.
Bold move, showing that hunger for knowledge.
Exactly. And Algamish respects that ambition. So, after Arkad pulls the all-nighter and delivers, Algamish shares the secret. He leans in and says, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. And so will you.
A part of all I earned was mine to keep. It sounds so simple, almost too simple.
It does. Arkad even pushes back initially, saying, but all I earned is mine to keep, is it not?
Yeah, that's what most people think.
And Algamish calls him a fool. He says, you pay to everyone but yourself. Dullard, you labor for others. That's the mind shift. We pay the landlord, the grocer, everyone else, but we don't pay our future selves first.
So pay yourself first. That's the core principle. How much did Algamish recommend?
He said, it should be not less than a tenth no matter how little you earn. Even if it's just a few coppers, save that first tenth.
And he used an analogy.
A beautiful one. Wealth, like a tree, grows from a tiny seed. The first copper you save is the seed from which your tree of wealth shall grow. You have to plant that seed and nurture it consistently.
But Arkad didn't get it right immediately, did he? He made mistakes.
Oh, yeah. Crucial learning experiences. His first mistake, he diligently saved his tenths, built up a little sum, and then gave it all to Asmur, the brickmaker.
A brickmaker? For what?
Asmur had a hot tip. He was going to travel and buy rare jewels of the Phoenicians to sell for huge profit.
Uh-oh. Sounds risky.
Exactly. When Arkad proudly tells Algamish, Algamish just sighs and says, every fool must learn. Why trust the knowledge of a brickmaker about jewels?
Ouch. Good point.
The result. Asmur was likely cheated, the jewels were probably worthless glass, and Arkad's savings were gone. Algamish tells him, you have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots. Lesson 1. Seek advice from experts in that specific field. Don't trust a brickmaker with jewels.
A timeless lesson, especially today with so many opportunities flying around. What was mistake number 2?
Okay, so Arkad saves again, learns his lesson about expertise. This time, she lends his savings to Agur, the shield maker, to buy bronze. Agur pays him back with rental, basically, interest, money making money.
Success?
No, sort of. Arkad gets excited by the returns and starts spending them. On feasts, a fancy scarlet tunic.
Not reinvesting.
Precisely. Algamish finds out and asks him, you do eat the children of your savings, then how do you expect them to work for you? Powerful metaphor, right? You're consuming the growth instead of letting it compound.
Eating the baby golden geese.
Exactly. That's mistake number 2. Consuming the returns instead of letting them grow and multiply. You need to let the children of your savings also work for you.
So after these mistakes, Algamish sees Arkad has truly learned.
Yes. Algamish sums it up. You first learn to live upon less than you could earn. Next, you learn to seek advice from those who are competent. And lastly, you have learned to make gold work for you.
Save, Get good advice, invest wisely.
That's the trifecta. And because Arkad proved he understood, Algamish eventually made him his partner and heir, wisdom recognized and rewarded.
His friends still questioned him, though, didn't they? About willpower.
They did. They thought he just had stronger willpower. But Arkad defines it differently. He says, willpower is but the unflinching purpose to carry a task you set for yourself to fulfillment.
How did he illustrate that?
With a simple habit. He said if he decided to throw a pebble into the stream every day for 100 days, he would do it. Even if it seemed trivial. He wouldn't skip a day. He wouldn't throw extra pebbles later to catch up.
Consistency, even in small things.
Exactly. It's about building integrity with yourself. If you commit to something, you do it. That builds the muscle for bigger commitments, like consistently saving that tenth.
One last point here, the concern about scarcity. If everyone saves, won't there not be enough wealth?
Yeah, a classic zero-sum fallacy. Arkad refutes it beautifully. He says, wealth grows wherever men exert energy. His example is building a palace.
And how's that work?
The gold paid for the palace doesn't disappear. It goes to the brickmaker, the laborer, the artist. It circulates, stimulating the economy. And the finished palace itself adds value to the owner and to the surrounding area. Wealth isn't a fixed pie. Activity creates more wealth. The Phoenicians built rich cities on barren coasts through trade. Wealth multiplies with productive effort.
So the big takeaways for you listening. Are you paying yourself first? Is it a non-negotiable? And are you careful about whose advice you take? Are you avoiding the modern-day brickmakers? Arkad's journey shows these aren't just theories, they're hard-won lessons. Okay, so Arkad becomes this incredibly wealthy and respected figure. The book then shifts to him teaching these principles more formally in the 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. This starts because the king has a problem.
Right. King Sargon. He's just won a war. Built canals, temples, big infrastructure projects. But the city's economy is stagnant.
Why? Where did all the money spent on these projects go?
The king asks the same thing. His chancellor explains that the gold basically filter through the fingers of most our people as quickly as the ghost milk goes through the strainer. It ended up concentrated in the hands of a few very rich men.
Sounds familiar. Wealth inequality, lack of circulation.
Exactly. The chancellor says now that the government spending has stopped, most people have nothing left from their earnings.
So the king decides they need financial education for everyone.
A brilliant move. He says, we must teach all the people how to acquire riches. And naturally, he taps Arkad, the guy who figured it out from scratch. Arkad agrees to teach his 7 cures, or remedies for a lean purse.
Let's break them down. Cure number 1. Start thy purse to fattening.
And this is the foundation. Back to Algamish's core lesson. Arkad's advice. For every 10 coins thou placest within thy purse, take out for use but 9.
The 10% rule again.
Yep. He uses the egg basket analogy. Put 10 in, take 9 out. Eventually it overflows. Simple visualization.
And the feeling of that purse getting heavier is motivating.
It is. He says the increasing weight will feel good in thy hand and bring satisfaction to thy soul. And he shares that strange truth. When he started saving the 10th, he managed to get along just as well. He didn't actually miss it that much.
Which suggests a lot of our spending isn't strictly necessary.
Right. It pushes you to prioritize long-term assets, gold, lands, herds, income-bringing investments over fleeting pleasures. It's a mindset shift.
That leads perfectly into cure number 2. Control thy expenditures.
Yeah.
Because people immediately object, right? How can I save a 10th when I don't even have enough for necessities?
The classic objection. And Arkad hits them with another unusual truth. That what each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our incomes unless we protest to the contrary.
Lifestyle creep. It's ancient.
Totally. Our needs expand to fit our income. Arkad says we have to distinguish between actual necessities and our endless desires. His tool, the budget.
Ugh, the dreaded budget.
But he frames it differently. You list everything you want to spend on. Then you select the true necessities and other things possible within the 9/10 you have available. And the rest. Cross out the rest. Be ruthless.
But someone objects, saying, I am a free man. I rebel against the slavery of a budget. People still say that today. Budgets feel restrictive.
Arkad's response is genius. He asks the student, who makes the budget? The student says, I do. Arkad replies, then it's not slavery. It's your tool to achieve your most important goals by protecting them from your casual wishes. It finds the leaks in your purse so you can plug them.
So the budget is about conscious control, directing your money purposefully.
Exactly. It's financial self-defense, empowering you to fund your real dreams.
Okay, so you're saving your 10th, controlling spending. What's cure 3? You've got money saved, but it's just sitting there.
Right. Gold in a purse earns nothing. Cure 3 is make thy gold multiply, put it to work.
This goes back to his experience with Agar the Shieldmaker.
Precisely. Lending his money, earning rental, and critically reinvesting that rental. That's compound growth in action.
The golden slaves idea.
Yeah, he talks about building a horde of golden slaves, each laboring and earning more gold, and their children laboring and their children's children. It's about making your money generate more money exponentially over time.
He gives an example of that growth.
He does. A farmer invests 10 silver pieces for his son. After 20 years, it's 30 and a half. After 50 years, it's 167 pieces. Almost 17 times the original amount, just through compounding. Patience pays.
But growth comes with risk, which brings us to Cure 4.
Exactly. Guard thy treasures from loss. Arcad warns, misfortune loves a shining mark. Once you have savings, tempting but risky schemes appear.
Like Asmer the brickmaker and his jewels.
The perfect example. Arcad stresses the first sound principle of investment. Security for thy principal. Don't lose your seed money.
So how do you guard it?
His advice is clear. Consult the wisdom of those experienced in handling money for profit. Get expert advice. He says good advice can be worth as much as the money you're investing because it prevents devastating losses. Due diligence is key.
Makes sense. Cure 5 is interesting. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Home ownership.
Yes. He criticizes paying high rents for cramped spaces. He argues owning a home brings joy, gladness to eat the figs from his own trees, and instills confidence and purpose.
More than just financial.
Definitely psychological benefits, but financial too. He notes lenders are willing to help finance homes if you have a reasonable down payment. And the long-term benefit, it greatly reduces his cost of living by eliminating rent, freeing up money for other goals or pleasures.
Okay, Cure 6. Ensure a future income. Planning for the future.
Absolutely. Arcad points out that old age is inevitable. No man may deviate from it. So preparing for an income when you can no longer work is crucial.
Retirement planning, basically.
And also providing for family if you're gone. Life insurance concepts, too. He dismisses burying gold, theft risk, and suggests income-producing assets like wisely chosen houses or land or regular deposits with a moneylender that compound over time.
Like Anson the sandal maker.
Right. His small weekly deposits grew substantially over years. And then Arcad has this amazing vision of a system where many people pay small, regular sums, creating a large payout for a family upon death. He literally predicted modern insurance.
Incredible foresight. Okay, finally, Cure 7. This one feels different.
It is. Cure 7 is increase thy ability to earn. This is about investing in yourself.
How so?
Arcad tells of a young man complaining about low earnings. Arcad's advice: earn more coins. Simple, but profound. It starts with desire, having strong, definite financial goals.
And then?
Self-improvement. As a man perfecteth himself in his calling, even so doth his ability to earn increase. He uses his own example as a scribe becoming faster, better, more dedicated, which led to higher pay without even asking.
Continuous learning.
Yes. The more of wisdom we know, the more we may earn. Learn new methods, consult peers, seek ways to be better at what you do. Things are always changing. Skilled people adapt and thrive.
And he links this to character.
Crucially, paying debts, caring for family, being compassionate, thoughtful deeds. These build self-respect and confidence, which fuels your ability to achieve your goals. It's holistic. Your value isn't just technical skill, it's your whole character.
Wow. Those 7 cures cover a lot of ground saving, budgeting, investing, protecting, planning, and self-improvement.
It's a complete system, really. Not just about money, but about building a secure and purposeful life.
So for you listening, which of these cures resonates most? Which one could you start working on today?
Okay, beyond those 7 specific cures, the book explores some bigger ideas. Like luck. Everyone wants good luck, right?
The eternal quest. The book describes debates in Babylon's temple of learning about how to attract the goddess of good luck.
What were the initial ideas? Finding lost gold. Gambling. Yeah, exactly. Chance happenings, winning at the gaming tables or races. Thinking luck is passive, something that just happens to you or can be won by chance.
But Arcad disagreed about gambling.
Strongly. He stated plainly that the chances of profit are always against him and always in favor of the gamekeeper. He pointed out, no successful Babylonian built their fortune gambling. It's a warning against relying on pure chance over strategy and discipline.
So if not chance, what is good luck, according to Arcad?
Opportunity, and acting on it. He uses stories to illustrate. A merchant missed a great investment in herb patches because he delayed making a decision. He procrastinated.
Opportunity knocked, but he didn't answer in time.
Exactly. Then there's the camel buyer who could have bought sheep cheap during a siege scare, but he hesitated, wanting to count them perfectly in daylight. By morning, the price had tripled. His rare good luck escaped.
He was too cautious, too slow.
Right. A Syrian character calls them procrastinator and says, opportunity she will not wait for such slow fellow. She thinks if a man desires to be lucky, he will step quick.
Be decisive.
That's Arcad's conclusion. Good luck often follows opportunity, but seldom comes otherwise. Good luck can be enticed by accepting opportunity. Men of action please their best. Luck isn't random. It's often the result of being prepared and seizing chances when they arise.
You make your own luck, in a way.
By being ready and acting decisively, yes.
Okay, another huge piece of wisdom, the 5 laws of gold. These come through Arcad's son, Nomasir. Tell us about that setup.
Right, Arcad gives his son Nomasir a bag of gold and a clay tablet carved with these 5 laws. The challenge. Go out into the world for 10 years and prove you can handle wealth wisely using these laws. If you succeed, you inherit my fortune. If not, well.
Tough test. How did Nomasir do initially?
Not great. First, he lost a chunk of gold on a horse race. Sound familiar?
The gambling trap again?
Yep, turned out it was a deceitful plan. Then he invested the rest with a partner who seemed smart but was actually an unwise buyer and a foolish spender. Lost that too.
Ouch. Rock bottom.
Pretty much. But these failures forced him to actually read and internalize the 5 laws his father gave him. He realized the gold slipped away because he violated those principles.
Let's go through them. Law 1.
First law. Gold cometh gladly and in increasing quantity to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings. Basically, pay yourself first again. Cure number 1.
Okay. Law 2.
Second law. Gold laboreth diligently for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks. That's make your gold multiply. Cure number 3, put your savings to work.
Law 3.
Third law. Gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling. Guard your treasures. Cure number 4. Seek expert advice. Prioritize safety.
Law 4. This seems related.
Fourth law. Gold slippeth away from the man who invested in businesses or purposes with which he's not familiar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. This hits Nomasir's mistakes directly. Stay within your circle of competence or rely on trusted experts. Don't invest blindly.
And the 5th law.
Fifth law. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment.
Romantic desires? What's that about?
It's about letting emotion, hope, greed, excitement override logic. Chasing unrealistic, get-rich-quick returns. Believing in schemes that sound too good to be true, like Nomasir's horse race bet. Investing based on fantasy, not facts.
So how did Nomasir turn it around?
He started applying the laws. Got a job managing slaves, building a city wall. He saved his 10th, even from meager earnings. Then, crucially, he partnered with knowledgeable investors to buy copper and tin needed for the city gates. A sound, familiar business.
He learned from experts, invested wisely.
Exactly. He said, through association with these men, I learned to safely invest gold to bring profitable returns.
And the result after 10 years?
He returns to Arcad not just with the original bag of gold intact, but with 2 extra bags earned through wise application of the laws. He tells his father the laws themselves were of greater value than gold itself.
Wow. Powerful lesson.
And the conclusion from Calabab, who tells the story.
Wealth that comes quickly goeth the same way. Wealth that stayeth comes gradually, because it is a child born of knowledge and persistent purpose. Slow and steady, built on principles.
Which leads to another practical area, lending. We meet Rodan the spearmaker.
Right, Rodan gets a windfall 50 gold pieces from the king. Suddenly, everyone wants a piece, especially his sister for her husband Aramin's business idea. A classic dilemma.
Lending to family and friends. Tricky stuff.
Very. So Rodan seeks advice from Mathon, the gold lender. Mathon tells him, gold bringeth unto its possessor responsibility. It changes your relationships.
And he tells a story, the ox and the ass.
Yeah, a great little fable. The ass advises the ox to pretend to be sick to get a day off. The result, the farmer makes the ass do the ox's plowing. The ass regrets trying to carry the ox's burden.
So the moral for lending.
If you desire to help thy friend, do so in a way that will not bring thy friend's burdens upon thyself. Don't let helping someone else sink you. Responsible boundaries. How did Mathon illustrate good versus bad loans?
With his token chest. Each token represented a past loan. Safest were loans secured by property, land, jewels, camels, like modern secured loans.
Collateral.
Right. Next safest were loans based on capacity to earn, like lending to Rodin himself, a skilled spearmaker. Like unsecured loans based on creditworthiness.
And the riskiest.
Loans to those with neither property nor assured earning capacity, unless guaranteed by reliable friends. These are like speculative loans today.
Did the tokens have stories?
They did. A bronze neckpiece from someone who spent lavishly and lost everything, an oxbone ring from a farmer who borrowed wisely after a locust plague, repaid, then borrowed again for profitable goats, a heavy gold bracelet from a loan made out of emotion to help a son become a merchant. It failed. Vivid examples.
So Mathon's principles were?
Can the borrower repay? Is the repayment reasonably secure? He stressed, the wise lender wishes not the risk of the undertaking, but the guarantee of safe repayment. And crucially, better a little caution than a great regret.
So what did Rodin decide about his brother-in-law?
He decided not to risk his entire 50 gold pieces years of potential security on his brother-in-law's unproven idea. He suggested maybe a smaller loan tied to a more concrete, thought-out plan, protecting himself while still offering potential help responsibly.
These stories really make you think, don't they? About luck, about risk, about the discipline needed for long-term investing, and the care needed when lending. We've seen the principles, the laws. Now let's look at how people put them into practice, often in difficult circumstances, starting with the walls of Babylon as a metaphor.
Yeah, the book uses the story of old Banzar, a guard during a fierce siege. People are terrified, but he keeps reassuring them, the walls of Babylon will protect you. The walls symbolize that fundamental human need for protection.
And the modern parallel.
The book draws it explicitly. In this day, behind the impregnable walls of insurance, savings accounts, and dependable investments, we can guard ourselves against the unexpected tragedies. It concludes, we cannot afford to be without adequate protection.
Financial walls, emergency funds, insurance, safe investments.
Exactly. Building those safeguards against life's inevitable attacks, job loss, illness, market downturns. It's about creating resilience.
Now, a truly inspiring story. Dabasir the camel trader. He starts in a bad place.
Oh yeah. We meet him through Tarkad, a young guy deep in debt and despair. Dabasir tells him bluntly, ill fortune pursues every man who thinks more of borrowing than of repaying.
Strong words. Did Dabasir know from experience?
He sure did. He confesses his own past. He was a saddle maker who always spent more than he earned, got into debt, fled Babylon, fell in with robbers, and ended up captured and sold as a slave in Syria. He hit rock bottom because of poor financial habits.
But something changed him as a slave.
A pivotal moment with Sirah, his master's wife. She challenges him fiercely. How can you call yourself a free man when your weakness has brought you to this? If a man has in himself the soul of a slave, will he not become one no matter what his birth?
Wow. That's intense. Basically saying his slavery wasn't just physical chains, but a state of mind caused by his own choices.
Exactly. It cuts deep. It forces him to confront his own lack of discipline. Was he inherently a slave in spirit even before being captured? That question ignites something in him.
And then he nearly dies in the desert.
Yes, escaping. That brush with death gives him total clarity. All the world seemed to be of a different color. At last I saw the true values in life. He realizes his debts are his true enemies, and the people he owes money to are actually his friends who trusted him.
A complete shift in perspective.
A profound one. He feels, within me surge the soul of a free man going back to conquer his enemies and reward his friends. His resolve is captured in that powerful line. Where the determination is, the way can be found.
So he goes back to Babylon.
He does. Faces his creditors, asks for time, gets help from Mathon, the wise lender again, and works relentlessly as a camel trader for Nebatur until every single debt is paid. He earns back his freedom and his self-respect through sheer hard work and discipline.
An incredible comeback story. And then, centuries later.
Right. This amazing connection. Archaeologists, Professor Caldwell and Professor Shrewsbury, unearthed Dabasir's actual clay tablets.
His personal financial records.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury is initially baffled. He expects ancient history to be about romance and adventure, not some guy's debt repayment plan.
Huh. But it shows these struggles are timeless. What was Dabasir's plan on the tablets?
It was incredibly clear and mirrors the cures. 1, save 110th. 1/10 of all I earn is mine to keep. Even while in debt, he prioritized future prosperity. 2, live on 700/10ths, provide for home, clothes, food, a little extra spending, but strictly not greater than 7/10, disciplined living. 3, pay debts with 210ths, divide this portion honorably and fairly among his creditors, a systematic repayment plan.
So 10% for saving, 20% for debt, 70% for living. Very structured.
Very. And the tablets record his journey dealing with difficult creditors, but feeling his heart is lighter as he progresses, becoming an honorable man.
And Professor Shrewsbury applied this ancient plan himself.
He and his wife did. They were drowning in old debts, feeling frightfully humiliated. Inspired by Dabasir, they implemented the 7-to-120 plan.
How did it work out for them?
Fantastically well. They talked to their creditors, set up the 20% pro rata payments. They learned to live frugally, but well, on the 70%. And that saved 10%, started building their investment fund.
So they paid off debt and started saving simultaneously.
Exactly. Shrewsbury writes, all our debts being gradually paid and at the same time our investment increasing. Besides, we get along, financially, even better than before. He's profoundly grateful for Dabasir's message, reaching across 5,000 years, just as true and just as vital.
What a powerful testament. It shows this isn't just theory, it's a practical plan that works, even for deep debt. For you listening, could Dabasir's plan, or a version of it, help you conquer debt and build your own future?
We're nearing the end, but there's one more crucial story, the luckiest man in Babylon, which really ties everything together and gets at the true meaning of success. This one features Sharunada, a wealthy merchant prince, and Hadangula, the grandson of his deceased partner. Hadangula is young, entitled, and a spendthrift.
What's his attitude?
His philosophy is basically, work was made for slaves. He just wants to live like a prince and spend money as fast as it comes in. He sees work as beneath him.
A dangerous attitude.
Very. So Sharunada decides to teach him a lesson by revealing a shocking truth about his own past.
Which is?
Sharunada himself was once a slave. He tells Hadangula about being chained alongside 2 other men, Megiddo and Zabato, forced to labor building the city walls.
A brutal existence.
Horrific. He describes the overseers, the whips, men collapsing from exhaustion.
Yeah.
But even in that hell, there's a difference in attitude.
Between Megiddo and Zabato.
Exactly. Megiddo, a farmer, believed work, well done, does good to the man who does it. It makes him a better man. Even as a slave, he took pride in his effort. Zabato, however, just shirked, complained, tried to do as little as possible.
And the outcome?
Zabato ended up broken, covered in thorns from the whip. Megiddo, though still a slave, maintained his spirit and physical well-being better. Sharunada learned early on that your attitude towards work matters immensely, even in the worst circumstances.
So how did Sharunada get out of slavery?
Initiative and work ethic. A guard, Kudoso, gave him simple advice. When buyers come, tell them you're a good worker. Make them want to buy.
Sell yourself based on your willingness to work.
Right. Sharunada did just that. He convinced a baker, Nananade, to buy him. Then he didn't just bake, he learned the trade, excelled, and then proposed a deal. Let me peddle honey cakes in the city for a share of the profits.
He created his own opportunity within slavery, making himself more valuable.
Exactly. He wasn't passive. This initiative led him to meet Arad Gula Hadangula's grandfather, a rug merchant who became a regular customer. Erd was impressed by Sharunada's spirit.
And Aragula had his own secret.
Yes. He revealed he too had been a slave, working in partnership with his master, even after earning enough to buy his freedom. He was hesitant to leave the security, the support.
Afraid to be fully independent.
Kind of. So Sharunada gives him powerful advice. Cling no longer to thy master. Get once again the feeling of being a free man. Act like a free man and succeed like one.
Wow. Encouraging him to embrace true freedom and agency.
And it worked. Aragula became a successful, respected free merchant. But Sharunada's story takes another turn.
Oh, not free yet.
Not yet. His baker master, Nananade, gambled heavily and lost. And Sharunada was sold again to pay the debts. This time to brutal work on the Grand Canal.
Back to square one, almost.
It seemed like it. But Sharunada remembered Megiddo's philosophy. He chose work and perseverance over despair. His resilience paid off when Aragula, now prosperous, found him, bought his freedom for real, destroyed the slave tablet, and made him his full partner.
What an incredible journey. Loyalty and hard work paying off.
Absolutely. And Hadangula, hearing this epic story of his own grandfather and his partner starting as slaves who valued work, he finally gets it.
The light bulb goes on.
Big time. He realizes work attracted his many friends. Work brought him the honors. Work brought him all those things I have approved. He sees work not as degrading, but as the very foundation of the success and respect he admired.
And he changes his behavior.
Dramatically, he pulls the flashy jewelry from his ears, the rings off his fingers, gets off his high horse, and respectfully takes his place behind Sharunada in the caravan, a symbolic act of humility and accepting the value of work.
So the ultimate key isn't just saving or investing.
It's work, purposeful effort. Sharunada concludes, work is not reserved for slaves. Many things do I enjoy, but nothing takes the place of work. It's presented as the source of fulfillment, friendship, honor, and ultimately lasting success.
It really makes you reconsider the role of work in your life. Is it just a means to an end or something more, a path to growth, contribution, fulfillment? So we've covered an incredible amount of ground, journeying through The Richest Man in Babylon, from Arcad's absolute fundamental pay yourself first.
That crucial 10%.
Right. Through the 7 cures, the 5 laws of gold, the insights on luck and lending.
Dabasir's climb out of debt.
And finally, Sharunada's powerful lesson about the dignity and necessity of work.
It's a rich tapestry, isn't it? But the underlying threads are consistent. Discipline, wisdom, action, perseverance.
And the amazing thing is, these aren't just historical curiosities. These principles feel utterly timeless, universal. They speak to our basic human desires and struggles with money and meaning.
They really do. They're as relevant now as they were nearly a century ago when Clason wrote them, or millennia ago in Babylon itself. It's a blueprint that still works.
The book ends with a straightforward observation. Money is the medium by which earthly success is measured. But as we've seen through all these stories, true success seems to be about more than just piling up gold, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's about the character you build, the wisdom you gain, the freedom you achieve, freedom from debt, freedom from worry, the freedom that comes from self-mastery and contribution. Look at the transformations of Arcad, Nomasir, Dabasir, even Hadangula. Their wealth was intertwined with their personal growth.
So here's the final thought for you to take away from this deep dive. Consider how applying just one of these ancient principles, maybe starting that 10% saving habit, maybe tackling debt with Dabasir's focus, maybe recommitting to excellence in your work like Sharunada, how could that single step begin to reshape your financial future and maybe even your sense of self-worth?
What's the very first concrete action you can take today to start fattening your purse, cultivating your wisdom, and maybe finding a deeper satisfaction in your own journey? The wisdom is there, ancient yet immediate, waiting for you to act on it.